Hello and good morning, and thank you for joining our Adobe webinar this morning. So we have Steve Newbury here from Adobe and Luke Kiernan from Bytes. Okay, so I'm now going to pass you over to Steve from Adobe.
Thank you. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning, and thanks for Bytes for inviting me to present to you this morning. Okay, I'm just doing a little bit of housekeeping here. And there we go. Okay, so yeah, my name's Steve Newbury, and I work on the digital media side of the Adobe business as a solutions consultant, which is effectively someone who supports the salespeople both internally and through our partner network in the presentation and adoption of the Adobe Acrobat and document services solutions. I'm just going to pop this into full screen for us. Just bear with me a second. Here we go, put the presentation up so we get rid of the user interface. And this morning, my plan is to give you a brief overview of Acrobat 11, the current version of Acrobat, and some of the new productivity features introduced with that particular application. And also to introduce the Adobe PDF Pack. This is a set of online Acrobat document solutions that are available for use through a browser or mobile technologies, as well as on the desktop. And also to introduce Acrobat on subscription through our VIP or value incentive plan, which Luke will go through in a bit more detail towards the end of the presentation. But yeah, in terms of subscriptions, Acrobat has only been available to individuals through subscription directly through adobe.com and until recently, or to very large customers through an enterprise term license agreement over a 3-year term. So this is a great advantage now in that we are using the platform that we use to deliver Creative Cloud for Teams to also make Acrobat available to our customers as well. And following the little presentation, I'm going to demonstrate some of the features of both Acrobat and the Document Solutions PDF Pack tools. So Acrobat has, as all companies do, a strategic direction, and the key thing really is to empower our users, or help our users create engaging and dynamic communications that they can share and with other people in a reliable way, and also to facilitate collaboration processes, whether that be review and comment workflows or data collection through forms, etc. What we also try to do is make it a lot easier for people to perform the tasks within Acrobat, and to that end we've introduced in Acrobat 11 Pro the concept of guided actions, and we'll perhaps touch on that a bit later during the demonstration. We also want to make it a lot easier to protect sensitive information and systems. Key to that with Acrobat 11 is that the Acrobat 11 application is now operates in a sandbox in much the same way as the Microsoft Office and web browsing technologies do, to protect your systems from any documents or content of those documents that might compromise them. And also, key aim really is to expand document access and document workflows across multiple devices. Not everyone's tied to the desktop anymore, and they need to be able to access both their documents and key tools while they're on the move. So we'll have a look at some of that as well. Basic stuff really, but the key thing around Acrobat is obviously the ability to create PDF files. We can do this from multiple sources nowadays, but Acrobat has a core functionality in that it allows you to create PDF files pretty much from anywhere. If an application can print, it will allow you to create a PDF using the PDF printer, or you can create PDF from web pages and so on and so forth. The ability to edit text and images directly and natively within the documents, rather than having to find the original document, it's possible to make straightforward edits directly in PDF, and we've made it a lot better in Acrobat 11. The ability to export to editable document formats, so taking content from a PDF document and making it available to Microsoft Office applications and other applications. I'll whiz through some of this stuff pretty quickly, because you don't want me to read the slides to you. I'm sure you'd rather see some of this stuff. Creating and analysing forms, merging and combining files. Document assembly is a big area that a lot of customers use Acrobat for, the ability to take multiple documents from different sources and combine them into a single PDF. reviews and approvals, the ability to sign documents electronically, whether that be through digital signatures or by way of integration to Adobe's EchoSign technology. The ability to protect PDF files I've already touched on, but I'll touch on that again during the course of the demonstration. And obviously the ability to create standards compliant PDF files. These are files that adhere to ISO standards, whether that be for archival or engineering drawings, or for document exchange for print and prepress. Okay, so really, in terms of the efficiencies in terms of document exchange and collaboration, we now have a really tight integration with Microsoft Office. We've always had that integration, but we've also extended that now so that you can access and work on files directly from Office 365 and SharePoint repositories without having to go out of the application in order to do that. So you can check out and check in documents directly from SharePoint or Office 365 from within your Acrobat application. I'm not going to dwell on the review and approvals process, but again, we facilitate that either through the application directly in email or by way of shared reviews hosted on SharePoint or on a web share. Forms data, again, integrated with Acrobat Pro is an application and access to our Adobe Forms Central application, but it's also possible to use Acrobat natively to create Acrobat forms that you can send out for people to fill, sign, and return to you. And I mentioned previously we've got full integration with our e-signature solution, EchoSign. Create PDFs from any application, including paper documents. We can drive scanners directly from within Acrobat so that you can actually scan, optically character read and save document in a searchable form directly from paper, from web content and directly from your email client, Outlook on Windows in particular, and also a couple of other solutions whose names elude me right now. And very tight integration with Microsoft Office, so the application features and functionality relevant to each of the Microsoft Office applications is made available by way of a toolbar that's integrated with the Office applications when Acrobat is installed. The ability to combine multiple files into either a single PDF document or into PDF portfolios, again, is a function of the application, and the ability to integrate interactive multimedia content, whether that be movies, audio, or just links to create more compelling communications. The ability to naturally edit images and text within PDF documents. There's been limited ability to do this for many years, but it has really been down to just changing individual words and not doing really significant edits. And we've basically made this a much more usable feature in Acrobat 11 to allow people to actually make use of PDF content and reuse PDF content without having to revert back to the original documents. But we've also made it very easy to convert PDFs back to fully editable Office documents, and I'll demonstrate that to you shortly. The ability also to allow users to consistently follow workflows and procedures. Many document tasks involve multiple steps, and using guided actions from Acrobat Pro, it's possible to actually guide users directly through processes just by clicking on the action, and they will then be presented with the necessary steps to perform their document tasks without having to remember them every time. Okay. Advanced document and application security. I've touched on the application security in terms of the sandboxing technologies, but also in terms of document security. It's been possible for a long time to be able to lock down documents either by way of an open password or indeed to restrict editing capability. But this has kind of been a bit buried in the user interface. We've made it much more obvious now for people to be able to actually restrict editing within documents. Obviously, because we've given people a much more flexible way to and reliable way to edit documents and reuse content, it might be that you don't actually want your recipients to be able to do that, so you want to be able to lock down the editability of those documents by restricting editing to make that effectively a single click away. And obviously there are other tools around protecting information, including redaction tools in Acrobat Pro that allow you to remove elements of a document completely and permanently in order to protect identities or whatever. And also we've got extensive document cleanup tools which will allow you to inspect documents to make sure there's no hidden information lurking in those documents that could be misused when they're delivered. One of the other things we've done with Acrobat in recent years is make the application much more friendly when it's delivered to touch-enabled devices, in particular the Windows 8 Surface type devices. A traditional application user interface tends to be a bit tiny when it's displayed on small screens of touch devices and not very finger friendly. So when Acrobat detects that it's being delivered to a Windows 8 device or perhaps through Citrix Receiver onto an iPad, it will actually adapt its user interface to make it more finger friendly so that the buttons become larger, the icons become larger and so on, so it makes it much easier to use. And also we've made it much more reliable and easy to view and interact with your PDF documents using the Adobe Reader Mobile, which is available across a number of platforms including iOS, Android and others. Coming on to the PDF pack. Now PDF pack has been available for a while for individual subscription, so separate subscription from the from Acrobat, and or separate to or additional to an Acrobat Perpetual license. And what these online document tools allow you to do is quickly convert PDF files, export PDFs up to other document formats, do document merges, and track and send and track large documents that you want to send to people. And all this from wherever you are. So this is all accessible directly through a browser on whatever platform the subscriber signs into to enable them to be able to perform these tasks without recourse to their own machine, for example, or make it available to them while they're on the road through their tablet or their telephone. And we'll have a look at that. The send and track large files is a really useful feature in that it allows you to send types of files that perhaps do not lend themselves to delivery via email. And also, in addition to that, it will also advise you when the recipient's received and opened those documents, so you can see immediately that your documents have arrived and have safely arrived and the recipient's been able to download them. Okay, the reasons why people might want to purchase Acrobat subscriptions on VIP is the ability effectively to offer all the application and those online services to their users in a timely way. Also, to allow procurement and IT to manage the Adobe subscriptions and licenses a lot more easily. They can request and add seats at any time through the VIP program, and also gives people access to start using Acrobat immediately if you allow them to install it themselves, or it will allow them access to the software once it's deployed to their machine. Also offers you predictable costs in terms of it's a one-year agreement over a 1-year term, so you know exactly what your outgoings are going to be for the application, and there's not that initial investment in terms of a perpetual license where you pay for it all up front and then use it over a period of time. This allows you to start small and pay the same effectively across the board. The other key thing is, because it's on subscription, you are entitled to not only the application and those services I mentioned, but also any updates to that application that occur during the course of the subscription term. So it allows you to standardize on the same version and remain on the same version across your organization, which obviously makes sense from a support and maintenance perspective. More importantly, allows you to stay in compliance. You effectively can only make available those licenses or use those licenses that you've assigned to specific users. So there's no danger of accidental deployment or not being able to pull it off machines when people leave organisations and so on and so forth. That's all doable through the VIP console. Okay, just a little slide here to give you an idea of what's available via subscription versus perpetual for both Acrobat Pro and Standard. The key difference is obviously is that with subscription you buy via VIP. It's an individual purchase from Adobe.com, but today we're concentrating on the VIP approach, which is managed and serviced through your reseller, and it gives you access not just to Acrobat Pro or Standard, but also those desktop services and PDF pack. So that's pretty important. And to 20 gigabytes of online storage for your documents on Acrobat.com. So you can actually have access to your documents wherever you are through the Acrobat.com cloud service. Okay, I'm just going to drop now into a quick demonstration of the product capabilities. So to that end, I'm going to drop onto and slide across to my Windows desktop, and we'll take a look at the new edit capabilities within Acrobat 11. Just going to open up a document here. This is a PDF that was probably created initially through Microsoft PowerPoint, and I need to make a couple of quick edits to this and don't have access to the original PowerPoint. We've updated the reception area from this rather austere-looking desk and chair to something a little bit more flamboyant, and also we need to perhaps make some edits to the textual content of this as well. So very quickly we can go straight up to our toolbar, and at the top there's an option to edit text and images, and when we click on this, Acrobat goes through and identifies all the editable areas in the document that we can make changes to, and also opens up the content editing panel from the Tools menu. We can also access directly from the Tools menu. So if we go into the Tools menu, we can go to Content Editing and then edit text and images from there as well. So a bit like most things with Adobe applications, there are at least two ways to get to every feature or function. And what we want to be able to do here is actually change the image. So we can actually come in here, when we click on the image, we'll also notice we've got access to all the tools associated with image editing, or the options that are available to us here, such as flipping, rotating, cropping, and image replacement as well. In this particular case, that's exactly what I want to do. So I click on Image Replace, and it'll open up me a dialog box which allows me to select the new image that I'd like to place instead of the rather austere one, for this rather luxurious looking reception location. So very quickly and easily edit documents. We can also pick up and reposition these documents, and to that end also we get these nice smart guides that pop up. You may have seen these in other Adobe applications such as InDesign, Photoshop, Illustrator, etc. They're now in Acrobat to allow us to align things very quickly and easily on screen without too much trouble. The other thing you'll notice is that unlike older versions of Acrobat, when we identify editable areas of the document, they are actually paragraph level editable areas as opposed to individual lines. In earlier versions you might have found that when you tried to add text to a line within a document, the line would just carry on extending towards the right side of the screen without actually wrapping. Now we actually wrap. So basically if we type text now wraps in line. Paragraph. So basically the paragraph will extend. Now it obviously lends itself to again relatively minor edits in the sense that if I added far more text to this, and I'll just type garbage, that text box will continue to extend until it drops off the bottom of the page. So it's not like Word or InDesign or other applications that are specifically text editors in that they will wrap and create a new column. This is much more like working with PowerPoint in terms of text editability. But we do have the facility to come in and access the text properties. So we can change the font, but we can also, if you need to make more space, for example, instead of 19-point text, we could perhaps move that down to 16-point or something like that to allow us to make stuff fit. And again, if we need to, we can move the content around the page to accommodate the layout that we want and the edits that we're trying to achieve. So really quick, really easy way to edit directly in the PDF application. I'm just going to move to the next page, or another page once I've deselected. Bear with me a second, I'm having fumble trouble with my fingers. Okay, so I've just moved very quickly to a page with list items in it. And again, if we want to add a new list item, what we need to do is right-click and place a new list item from this to be able to introduce new list items within the application. So very quick and easy to make straightforward edits directly within a PDF document. But also, if it's not enough to be able to create those edits directly in the PDF, and you want to get it back into a format that can be edited maybe in Word, Excel, or PowerPoint, we also offer the ability to export to editable formats. So let's just pop to my demo files again and quickly have a look at a document here. I'm just going to pop up a PDF that was created from PowerPoint that I want to take back into PowerPoint. Now, the export to PowerPoint is only available in Acrobat Pro as we stand today, but Acrobat Standard offers Word and Excel export. Acrobat Pro adds the ability to export files to PowerPoint as well. Now, we can either go to Export File to from the Content Editing menu and export it to the preset formats here, or we can go to the File menu and say Save as Other, and then choose various other formats that we might want to export that file to, including web pages or image formats as well. But in this case, we're going to go to a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to pop that to the desktop and say Save. What Acrobat will do is it will go through the entire document and identify all the editable elements of this particular file, and also try and identify repeating elements within the file that might lend themselves to things like master pages and other layout features in the resultant PowerPoint file. So I'm just going to minimize Acrobat for a moment, pop to my desktop, and we'll see we've got a PowerPoint file here, which when I open it, it will show us that we've got a fully editable PowerPoint document that represents exactly what we had with our PDF, including features such as tables, and this applies both to PowerPoint, Word and Excel. These are fully editable tables. They're not just pictures of tables, so we can actually edit the table as a table, add rows and so on and so forth, just as you would in a normal PowerPoint presentation. And we also identify all the graphic and image and graphics objects within that file, so they are individually editable as well as the text content of the document. So very quick and easy again to get content out into a fully editable format and perhaps into an application which offers you familiar tools for being able to work with the files in question or the content in question. So really quick and easy export to editable file formats. Now, if these documents originated in for example, Word or PowerPoint, when they were created originally as to a PDF, they will also, the application will also try to maintain the integrity of things like styles and other features of the content, so that they're actually usable in the final in the editable version of the exported editable version. Now, the only thing caveat I'd apply to this is if the original fonts that were used are not available on the editing system, they won't be made available unless you install them. So that's the only kind of caveat of this capability. Okay, let's just save out of there. So that's a really nice feature, and so we've got the ability to go out to Word, Excel, and other formats as well. Okay. Next thing I'd like to look at is combining multiple documents into a single PDF file. Now, I've got a folder here with a number of different file formats: Excel, PowerPoint, Word, a PDF, and an image format. And I want to turn these into a single coherent PDF document. So assemble these all together into a single PDF from those various formats. And again, I can do that directly from Acrobat, simply by clicking on Combine Files into PDF from the Welcome screen or from the Create menu, combine files into a single PDF, or I can do it from the desktop as well. So I can actually select the files that I wish to combine and right-click and say Combine Files in Acrobat. So I just click on there. It will open up the Combine Files dialog from Acrobat, and it will also build me nice thumbnails of each of those documents that we're wanting to combine. Now, typically, when we do this, the documents don't come in the right order. So this interface actually allows us to pick up and move the documents order in a visual way, nice and quickly. It also lets us inspect the contents of multi-page documents, so we can open those up to see the content of those documents. Not only that, it also allows us to go in and right-click and remove pages that we don't need, and also take pages, for example, from this PowerPoint presentation. I actually want to bookend this document with the start and finish slides from PowerPoint, and I want to include the picture between the 2 pages of the Word document. So I can actually reorder and organise the pages exactly as I want them to be in the resultant PDF directly within this user interface. So that when I say combine files, it will create a single PDF with just the pages in the order that I've dictated and nothing else. So without additional work at all, we can actually create a perfect document. That's not to say that you can't continue to work on this and add and remove pages once you get into Acrobat. There's a very quick way of taking content from a multitude of sources and building those into a single PDF document without additional rework being required. Just always sit here and think, this is not going to finish, and it always does this when we're online doing presentations to lots and lots of people. So just bear with us a second. Once we get all our ticks, we'll have a PDF document that's representative of all this stuff. There we go. It's nearly done now. And lo and behold, here we have a single PDF document that contains all the pages in the order that we said in a single PDF file. And again, if you wanted to, you can, within Acrobat, from the page thumbnails panel, you can actually move pages around still further should you choose to do so. So again, flexibility and ease of use is paramount in this regard. Okay, while we've got this file open, I'll just quickly go to our action wizard here. So this is where in Acrobat Pro you can create actions and also fire off those actions. So it comes with a number of pre-built actions so that you can try it out very quickly and easily. But basically, they guide users through the process of a multi-step process, for example, for, in this case, preparing a document for distribution. So if I click on this, it tells me exactly what it's going to do. It's going to go through and run the hidden information capability or tool that I mentioned. It's going to add a watermark, add a header and footer, and save as. So it's going to invite them to save as a particular file in a particular location. So if I just click on Start, oh, okay. Bear with us 2 ticks. Always forget to do that. So it pops up the dialog, remove hidden information, and it tells us exactly what it's going to remove. Now, you can hide this step if you don't want people to be able to make changes, but we can also go through and say, well, don't actually remove the form fields, but remove everything else that's in here. Say OK, and it will go through, examine the document, and do the cleanup necessary. It will then pop the Add Watermark dialog, so we can just say, I don't know, draft or something like that, and put a nice big fat, oops, big fat, he said, nice big fat draft in the middle here, and change the features of it if we want, and then just say OK. And document already contains, so we just say replace existing. Invites us then to fill out the header and footer we want to apply. These dialogues can also be pre-populated if you wish as well, and just say OK, because we'll ignore that. And then it invites us to save that document back to somewhere else, and I'll just call that under X so it doesn't overwrite the original. So very quickly and easily, again, we've guided someone through a multitude of steps. They didn't have to go and find Add Watermark, they didn't have to go and find text, they didn't need to find the remove hidden information. It was all presented to them by the action. So that was very nice indeed. Okay, the next thing I wanted to also look at very quickly was the protection piece. And literally right at the top of the dialog box here, we've got a button that says Restrict Editing. So when we press this button, it basically invites us to create a permissions password here, so we can go back to this document and remove that restriction should we wish. So I'm just going to give it a fairly meaningless password. Very weak. You'll also notice there's a password strength meter on here, so you can get a visual indication of whether the password you're using is actually strong enough to be worthwhile. So OK, and there we go. Now, when I save this document, which I'm going to do now, we'll notice a couple of things here. So again, just put secure on the back of that and just say save. A couple of things occur. That document is now secure, that particular version of it, and we also, when it's opened, you'll see an indication in the title bar at the top of the window that says this document is secured. And if we try to go in and do content editing, we get a dialog box that says this is a secured document and editing is not permitted. So basically that document's now ready for delivery in a protected form, so no one can change it or remove content or cut and paste or do anything else with that particular file. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is quickly go and have a look at the services offering from the PDF pack. So I'm going to first look at the services available through the browser. So I'm just going to pop into acrobat.com, and once I've signed in, I'm presented with the services that I've subscribed to. Now, in terms of the basic PDF pack, you will definitely see Files, Send, Export PDF, Create PDF, and Combine Files as a capability available to you, and also Acrobat. And basically what this allows subscribers to do is access and install a copy of the Acrobat from their browser if they're allowed to do that within their organization. But basically all my files that I want to use while I'm on the road, I can keep in my acrobat.com files section, so they're available to me on my mobile devices or on any other machine that I log into through the browser to access this content. And once we're in here, we can do a variety of things with it. So for example, if I wanted to send a large PowerPoint presentation, for example, I could go to Send, select the files that I want, and then create either a public link or a personalized link to that content. So that basically, with a public link, anyone who has access to the URL will be able to access the document that I've shared. Or in terms of a personalized link, it will actually send an individual email invitation to specific individuals. We can also add your own logo and color to the invitation screen, so it personalizes it still further to your organization rather than it just being a bland Adobe Send email delivery. And once we've set up the links, added the files, we can type an email message and hit send. It will send the link to the recipients, and also once you've done that, it will also allow you to track where those documents have gone. So you'll receive emails from adobe.com telling you when that document has been accessed and downloaded. In terms of export PDF, again, this gives you the ability to do that export to editable file formats directly through the browser from any device without needing to fire up Acrobat or have Acrobat installed on the system. Same applies to Create PDF and Combine. And Combine works in exactly the same way that we saw in Acrobat itself. We select the files to combine, we can reorder those files and then push them back to save, and they will then appear in your files section within acrobat.com. And you'll then be able to access them and further process them either on device or elsewhere when you get back to the office or whatever, or indeed share those documents to other people. You can also upload files directly from your system into acrobat.com through the web interface as well. So access to all the stuff that you need is available through the browser on whatever device you log into. So it's based on the fact that you're logged in with your Adobe ID associated with your Acrobat subscription, and then you'll have access to all these services. What I also want to do is just have a quick look at how this stuff behaves on a mobile device. So I'm going to try to mirror my phone onto my desktop here. So do bear with me a second while I get the thing fired up, and hopefully it will connect via AirPlay and mirror its display to my Macintosh. So 2 ticks. Yep, on the correct network. Okay, it's going to work. Oh, try to. There we go. Okay, so we've now got my my iPhone up on my Macintosh desktop. I'm just going to go into the Adobe Reader, and we'll see here. Once I'm logged into, or I log in on the, through an Acrobat Reader, I not only have access to documents that are resident on my device, on the phone, but I also have access to my documents from Acrobat.com. So those same files that we saw within the web browser are available to me on my phone directly through Reader. Something's become non-responsive. Maybe it's because my fingers have become clammy. But a second. Right, so we go back and back. Now we can also manage uploads to Acrobat.com for these documents through the application. So we can click on here, and we can click on a document here on my phone, for example, and I can say that I want to convert that to PDF. So it's a Word document, going to go to PDF directly from my device. It will push it into the cloud and then download it into my Acrobat.com account. I can also push that document from my device into Acrobat.com so it's available to me when I next log into my computer, for example. So very quick and easy there. We can also, let's just say done on there, go back to Acrobat.com and to my demo files. Same thing, if we open a Word document in Reader, it just displays as a stream of text, but we can also click on the little icon at the top here and convert that to a PDF from the device here. It just says document sent for conversion, status can be tracked in the outbox. If we go back and back, go to my outbox, and it will tell me exactly what's going on there and tell me that that particular process is completed, and then I can access that document as a fully fledged PDF document directly from within the application. And now I'm getting out of memory warnings, which would probably means my iPhone is completely clogged up with stuff, too much music perhaps. So again, we can also, from here, take that PDF, share that file, share it as a public link via Acrobat.com, open it in other applications or print that document. And in terms of open in, that also allows us to open that into other applications or save it down to other services should we wish. So really quick, really easy way to create, export, manage and access all your documents directly through Reader on the mobile device. So with that, I'd like to hand back to Luke, who's going to go through a bit more, I think, on the VIP program itself and perhaps introduce some pricing and stuff like that. So thank you very much for taking time to listen to me. Handing back to Luke.
Yeah, thank you for that presentation. I hope everyone's given that a good insight into Acrobat as a desktop product and also the services that are available via the PDF pack and the VIP agreement, which is what I'm going to go over now. So literally I'm just going to go over the agreements for licensing the Adobe Acrobat, the VIP. So there are 3 agreements, and as Stephen mentioned before, Acrobat under subscription was only available to individuals previously, and that literally is for an individual at home, a freelancer, so we won't be discussing that agreement. What we'll be going over is the Creative Cloud for Teams, the VIP agreement. So those who are already signed up to that agreement through licensing their creative users will probably be already aware of how that works, and it's completely the same. It's just that now Acrobat you can license as an individual application. So the VIP agreement is for 1 year. You can true up and true down throughout that year, so it's the most flexible agreement that Adobe offers. And you can then start with 1 user, so there's no minimum entry at all. You can have 1 user, or you can have up to 100 to 200 users. It depends on how your organization works. So it's done on a per user basis, and the user is actually authenticated by an Adobe ID, which Stephen's kind of mentioned already. You get access to a brand new admin portal, where you can add seats, reharvest seats very easily if the user leaves, and stay 100% compliant. So if you get asked how many licenses you have from Acrobat in your estate, with VIP you can easily check that just by logging in and exporting a list, and it'll tell you within a minute how many users you have licensed for Acrobat or any other creative solution. So with the actual agreement you get the upgrades that are included throughout. So any upgrades that are released for Acrobat will be downloadable. It's up to you whether you install them, or it's up to your IT admins whether you install them at all. You also get access to the Creative Cloud Packager tool, and that allows IT admins to stay in complete control of what your user receives. So you can create a package of applications including Acrobat, and you can also create a package of actual updates that are released throughout your term. It allows you to standardize. So as Stephen mentioned before, everyone will be on the same version going forward, and that should allow ease for the IT teams. You get predictable costs and stay in complete control. So as I say, you can true up and true down throughout year, and obviously the pricing is prorated throughout that term. There is an agreement for enterprise customers. The minimum entry for that is $150,000 over a 3-year term. We can go into more detail about the enterprise term if offering, and would have to engage with Adobe Direct on that. So pricing. So for Acrobat, under the VIP agreement, for standard you can get it for £142 per user per year, and for Pro £171 per user per year. If you already have a VIP agreement, obviously we'll prorate that to how many months are remaining left on your agreement. And as I mentioned before, that includes the desktop product, the Adobe PDF pack, where you can access Acrobat from anywhere you are on any device. You get sync and storage, so 20 gigabytes per user, and you also get the updates throughout your term. Just going to go over the Creative Cloud offering. So to license any creative users you have within your estate. There is migration prices and list prices for any new customers, but if you do have a CS3 to CS6 license within your estate, then you do get migration prices, which offers a further discount. And there is a promotion running until the 28th of November, which offers a further discount on that. So you'd receive the whole complete suite for £362 per user per year, or £30 per month if you already got an agreement. And we'll lock that in for your next year renewal. You can also license single applications. So if you do have a user that just needs InDesign, you can license just for InDesign, and it brings the cost down to, as you can see. So, I mean, that's the complete overview of Acrobat and the desktop product, the PDF pack, and the pricing and the way it's licensed. So now we're just going to go on to some Q&As. So I'm just going to open a question and answers pod. And then I'll read them out, and then if Stephen or myself one of us should be able to answer your questions. So Joseph has asked, can updates be controlled to avoid negative effects on business networking during business hours? Yep, the updates are completely controlled by IT admins using the Creative Cloud Packager tool. So your users won't have any interaction with that. They'll just receive the desktop product. And when you're ready to update them with the new version, you can do that.
Yeah, just adding to that, Luke, you could also turn off the Acrobat updates on the individual product using the Adobe customization wizard for Acrobat. So basically you can turn off end user access to software updates, and then the IT admins will download and push those updates out to the individual users at a time of your choosing.
Craig has asked, is this managed via creative.adobe.com? Yep, that is your admin portal login. So if you're used to managing your creative users, that's exactly the same portal. So all your licenses will be under one agreement. You'll have visibility of every single user that you have. Rose has asked about the OPEX versus CAPEX and it being more expensive over a long year term. I mean, what is Adobe's response to this challenge, she's asking. I mean, it's just I don't know, Stephen, if you wanted to reply on that. I mean, I can do so.
Yeah, you go ahead, and then I'll add anything that I think is appropriate if necessary.
Yeah, I mean, what Adobe have done is basically listen to their customers. Really, their users who actually use the software are asking for more frequent updates so they can keep up to date with the market. Mobile devices that are being constantly updated. With their perpetual releases, it was sort of 18 to 24 months a new version got released, and according to their users, that wasn't quick enough. So they decided to bring a subscription model in, where it's a low upfront starting fee, and you pay as the years go on. But what that includes is the updates. So Adobe are releasing thousands of updates to these products, making them much better for the users. And they find that added value would bring that challenge over the OPEX, CAPEX situation.
Yeah, I think also to add to that, as Luke alluded there, yeah, you obviously get access to the current version of the software, but as he said, all updates to that software during the course of your subscription term, but also you get access to technical support, which both of which were potentially, both of which were paid for options with the old perpetual model. So basically, yeah, software support, updates, but also access to all those services should you wish to use them as well. So the online stuff, the storage, and the access to the online services, which are again additional cost options to anyone who buys into the old perpetual model, if you like.
Thank you, Stephen. So hopefully that answered your question on that. Matthew has a question about VMware Horizon. So how does the team license work with VM Horizon Desktop that are on a floating platform? Stephen, would you have any sort of insight into how that would work?
It kind of depends how you're delivering the software, I guess. The key thing is, you know, both well, Acrobat is virtualization friendly, provided that virtualization model is desktop streaming as opposed to application streaming. So basically, if the user gets access to their entire desktop through the virtualized environment, as opposed to streaming individual applications in their own independent bubble, that should be workable, because they'd literally go to a desktop, log in with their Adobe ID, and be able to access the software. Where it doesn't lend itself is in environments where the user is not able to authenticate with their Adobe ID to authenticate the software.
Okay, thank you. Got another question about blocking storage. So is it possible to block storage for security reasons? If yes, can updates be received? So
the only way through both individual and VIP plans to block access to storage is to block it at the firewall. So basically restrict access to the ports associated with the storage. And again, Adobe publish all the endpoints that we use and access for those various things. So IT can, if they wish, restrict access at the firewall to those features.
And just on that, if you do require those ports, then get in contact with myself or your account manager, and we can provide that document to you. But yes, updates can be received even if cloud storage is blocked.
Absolutely, yeah.
So this one might be for you, Stephen. Do you have any type of presentation or training on how to control updates on Creative Cloud? I believe there might be some videos online.
There are some videos online, and what I'll do, Luke, is I'll produce a list of the relevant sources in a single document for you, so you can push that out to the customers that require that information.
Okay, brilliant.
But it is already available on the Adobe website for the IT admins, both in document form and, in many cases, by way of a video tutorial.
Okay, brilliant. What we may do is when we send out the link to this webinar to everyone, we'll include that in our email.
Perfect.
So Matthew has a follow-up question to his VMware Horizon original question. He said, yes, they have desktop access, but every time they log off, they get a new desktop from a gold image. So how they be able to install the Adobe products? Yeah,
I mean, they'd be able to install the Adobe product in in the image in the same way that they would today. The only thing is that the user would obviously have to log in from fresh each time they launch the application.
Okay, hopefully that answered.
Rather than it being a persistent image. I was working with VMware on my machine to show the Windows environment, but that's a persistent session, so it works perfectly fine there. It doesn't log me out every time that I change or suspend the session. But in that environment, it would require the user to, in the subscription model, to sign in, because there's no serialization of that application anymore. It's sitting there effectively in trial mode, waiting for someone to sign in with an Adobe ID.
Thank you. I mean, Matthew, if you do have any further questions on that, we could set up a call after this webinar.
Yeah.
But I believe, that's all the questions we have for today. Thank you for your time, everyone. Hope you found it useful, and we'll send out the recording shortly.